This is a tale of two painters. It was the best of times, and it was the worst of times. In a land far away, there lived two painters, Billy and Bobby. Billy and Bobby. Yes, they're brothers, actually. Billy was a good painter and wanted to do a good job for his customers. One day, Sue gave him a call. She needed someone to paint her condo and heard about Billy and his business from a friend. They met and Sue showed him the project. So here's Billy, here's Sue. Now, Billy, I want a really top-notch job, and I really need it done during the second week of March. Can you do that for me? Billy really needed the work, and even though he had Mrs. Jones' job booked for the beginning of March, he figured he could be finished in time to serve Sue's job if he rushed. So March rolled around and Billy was swamped. No, there we go. Billy was swamped. He had not anticipated that Mrs. Jones' job would take as long as it did. Finally, he got up enough courage to call Sue the Saturday before he was supposed to start and told her that he wouldn't be able to make it on Monday. In fact, he wouldn't be able to start until the following week. Oh, wait a second. What? Sue retorted. When you talked to me initially, you promised me the second week of March. I had scheduled the kids, for the kids and the dog to be out of the house. We even started to move the furniture. How about if I was able to start in the middle of the week instead of the following week? Billy didn't want to let Sue down. Fine, said Sue, but don't let me down. I won't let you down, replied Billy. On Wednesday of that week, Billy showed up at Sue's job. He told Mrs. Jones that he caught a bad cold. That will buy me a couple of days, he said. Or he thought, rather. In order to make the schedule work, he would have to work quickly on Sue's job. Maybe I can save time on some of the prep work, he reasoned to himself. Sue probably won't even notice. Second page. Because of this, Billy made great progress on Sue's job. Near the end of the first day, he was almost halfway done. Sue came home later that day and was not impressed. Not impressed. Sure, the nail holes had been filled as requested, but the walls themselves still had divots, lumps, and bumps. It just wasn't the professional job she was looking for. Billy, she said in a stern tone, I'm not happy with the job. I think you need to smoothen the walls and repaint them. I simply can't have them looking like this. I expect a better job than this. Sue proceeded to point out all the areas on the walls that she was not happy with. Oh no, thought Billy. She's being so picky. This is ridiculous. I won't be able to finish her job in time. As a result, Billy ended up taking 4 days to finish Sue's job. Sue was never completely happy with her work, but she figured it was okay and paid Billy mainly just to have it over and done with. She also made sure to tell her friends who referred Billy what a bad experience she had. That friend consequently never referred Billy to anyone else. The story doesn't end there because Billy was delayed in finishing Mrs. Jones' job. So Billy ended up with Mrs. Jones being upset at him too. So let's hear about Bobby. Bobby was a good painter and wanted to do a good job for his customers. One day Anne gave him a call. Oh jeez, I cracked Anne's face. Anne's a little older, she's got wrinkles now. Anyway, so one day Anne gave him a call. She needed someone to paint her condo and heard about Bobby and his business from a friend. They met and Anne showed him the project. Now Bobby, I want a really top-notch job done, and I really need it done during the second week of March. You can do that for me, can't you? Now Bobby had Mrs. Smith scheduled for the beginning of March. Since he always allowed extra time in his schedule for unforeseen circumstances, he didn't want to promise Anne the second week of March. Anne, I just can't promise you the second week of March. Bobby was willing to lose the job rather than promise something that he couldn't deliver. Anne, however, was flexible, and they settled on the third week of March. A week before Bobby was scheduled to start the job, he emailed Anne, just a reminder that he was on schedule, and give her a list of handy things that would ensure the paint job would go as smoothly as possible. The third week of March came along, and Bobby and his crew showed up at Anne's condo. Bobby had gone through exactly what Anne wanted at the time of the estimate, and those expectations were clearly noted for his crew in their project management system. Bobby's crew was organized. They knew the level of prep that was expected, and they went to work to make sure that it was all done correctly. When Anne came home, the crew leader had left a note detailing what was done and what was planned for next day. She was impressed. Doesn't she look impressed? Yes. She was impressed. She liked the care that they took, ensuring that everything was covered and the meticulous prep work. Bobby was always telling his crew, it's easier to do it right the first time than to have to go back and do it again. And it showed. When Bobby and his crew finished Anne's condo, she was so pleased. She thanked Bobby and each of his crew members and happily paid Bobby for the work performed. She also made sure to tell her friend that had referred Bobby to her what a wonderful job he had done. That friend was pleased and resolved to refer Bobby to even more people. So really, it was the best of times, and it was the worst of times. It was the best of times for Bobby and the worst of times for Billy, even though they both had the same circumstances.